Alrighty folks, it's Dinosaurs. Welcome back for some more Ark Survival Evolved. Another day, another patch, or three. I think we're on 186 now. You don't see it in here, no. Oh, and it's a very hot day apparently. So I am inside and I'm still hot, and I have cloth armor on. Interesting. I've been doing a whole bunch of stuff off camera, and I just logged on for the day, and I thought, let's start out just showing you guys what's going on. A couple things just to go through the blueprints, and I honestly haven't sorted these out, but oh yeah, I did want to mention I made the Freya curry, and I ended up not needing it, and I'll talk about that in a second. But after I fiddled with this for a while, I actually went out, killed a few things, and I found that thing on the very left there. So you might notice in here it says like 2 handfuls of berries, half a dollop of narcotic. So those are some kind of weird measurements. I assumed it was 5, 5 long grass, 5 rock, 2 azelberries, 1 mejoberry, and half a narcotic each. But that's not true. There is this thing called notes on Rockwell recipes. So a serving of meat is actually 3 meat. A handful of berries is 10 berries. A dollop is 4 medicine, and water is a water skin or water jar with at least 25% in it. So I was putting in, 2 blueberries and 1 mejoberry. Actually, I was putting in 5 of each just because I figured it was more than I needed, but it was not. So when it says 2 there, it actually means 20 because a handful of, is actually 10 of them. So there you go. Oh, was there anything else of interest? Oh, I think there's a couple things of interest. Some here and some in the smithy. So we already know, let's see, we got the Phiomia, the Parasaur, the Primitive, and then the word is too long, so you have to look down below. Ichthyosaurus saddle blueprint I got, but I didn't make a saddle nor tame a Ichthyosaurus. Those are water-based guys, so I haven't been messing with those too much. Trike and Pterodon we already know about, and I think that's about it. Oh, no, here, look, I got a blueprint for a fabricator, which is cool stuff because apparently it makes things and stuff. It's another crafting station, like the smithy or whatever, I guess, for higher level. Oh, and a blueprint for the standing torch, because I never learned that, and I went and grabbed a white drop. And what? Oh, Sarco! I forgot, I just got that one. So I can make a Sarco saddle as well. I should put that up here with the rest of the saddles, or I will totally forget about it. That one might be pretty fun, especially if I want to start getting into water exploration stuff. Let's take a quick look at blueprints in here, and then I'll show you outside and introduce you to the new additions to the herd. So let's see, Anklo we know, Mammoth we know. I've got 3 Mammoth saddle blueprints now, so I've been checking them out and just keeping the highest level one. I got some guns. I got the long neck rifle, the simple revolver, some ammo, or what is this? That's a silencer, a couple different kinds of ammo. I'm starting to get metal irrigation pipes. Let's put you two together. And grenade recipe, which also, actually I got 1 grenade itself instead of the recipe, so we got one of those too. So getting a whole bunch of new stuff, and then spent a bunch of time doing taming. And I tell you guys what, once I got to Stacy, things were getting really, really long. I mean, like hours, real time, like 2, 3, 4 plus hours to start taming these bigger dinos. So again, playing single player, I'm not just going to sit here for multiple hours waiting for them. And there's been a bug up till today. Patch notes claim that it's fixed yet again. That now, well, the bug was if you logged out when you were taming and then logged back in, the taming effectiveness was gone, or the boost. You're supposed to get plus levels of boost, and it didn't work. Plus, they got super slow. Plus, they didn't get the proper amount of XP or something like that after that. So hopefully that's all fixed. Let's see. Alright, so the rest of the herd. We have, check this out, Mavis the Argentavis, level 43. Not the best looking ever, but Argentavis ever. But check them levels out. This guy was level 29 or something, and I got a good boost out of it. And then, of course, just hanging around here at the base, it's been leveling up a little bit. So these guys are awesome. They got tons of stamina, good health, good weight capacity, like twice as much as the pterodons. I don't know, whatever. Melee damage, they actually do some decent damage, I guess. Problem is I don't have a saddle for her yet, so she's just gonna kind of hang out here for the moment, but that's cool. Alright, now you guys know Terry, the terrible pterodactyl, who's kind of terrible and was kind of low level, and No, I didn't want to do that. Terry, stand down. Alright, that's fine. Stay there with Barry. I'm trying to get into the inventory, not write it. Write her, my bad. So she's got, you know, really low weight limits and really low health and kind of terrible. Well, you probably already saw, but I want to introduce you to Terry, the terrific pterodactyl. This pterodactyl is way more terrific than Terry. Yeah. Anyway, this one's level 34, so much higher level on the tame. Got a better tame out of it, and we have 180 weight, so better weight, 400 health, so much better. The movement speed was actually not as fast as I was hoping, but not too bad. And just overall a better pterodactyl. And I've been putting points mainly into speed, stamina, and a little bit into the weight. But let's go ahead and... Well, actually, I'm going to wait, because I'm thinking if I have multiple flyers like following me, so like if I jump on this one and have the other ones follow, I want the other ones to be slower. So I gotta decide. In the end, I probably want Mavis, but the Argentavis are slower than the other guys. Well, I guess I left something going in the campfire? No? It just wants to be invisible right now. Alright, and compost bins are here. Okay, so let me give you a introduction to the rest of the herd. And yeah, these guys, unfortunately for the moment, have to hang out front. I got 2 mammoths, and I ended up doing a double tame. I found Manny, who is 18 now. He was level 11. I rode around for hours looking for a high-level mammoth, and never found one that didn't get killed by something else, or that I couldn't get to, or whatever. For literally probably 3 or 4 hours, and that's why I've got the Argentavis, the other pterodon, and I don't know, a bunch of blueprints, all that stuff. I went looking and looking and looking, could not find one. Finally just said, you know what, forget it, here's a level 11, I'll take it. And so that's Manny, and as soon as I got Manny down, I looked around a little bit, make sure there was no dillos or raptors around, and I found Ellie, like, I don't know, from here to the base, so just really close, and Ellie was level 27. And got a really good taming bonus on Ellie, and that's great. But I will spend just a minute talking about randomized stats, because it turns out while Ellie is twice the level of Manny, Ellie is actually not that much better for what we want. Okay, so these guys are great at getting chopping down trees and getting lots and lots of wood, and they have pretty good weight limit. So what we want is some good health, and I've put a point or two into this, but not a ton. We want some good weight capacity, and you want good melee damage, because the higher the melee damage, the more resources you get per hit. Alright, so we're at about 1200 health, and again I put a couple points into that. 500 weight and 200% melee damage. Okay, let's take a look at our twice the level. Let's take a look over here. 1200 health, which I don't think I put any points into. Maybe one? No, I don't think I put any points into that. What are we talking about? Yeah, right. Weight, 514. So almost exactly the same weight. 209% melee damage. Actually less than the other one. And I've already put a couple of points into this. And the stamina is just slightly higher. So why is this one not, like, you know, way better? Because it's super higher level. Well, here's the deal. Take a look at the food. This guy's got 6,000 food and 1,000 torpor, right? 0 of 1,000 torpor. Well, unfortunately, the random stat distribution tended to favor food, because this one's got 8,500 food, which is a completely wasted bunch of points. Who cares about 8,500 in food? And 1,600 in torpor. So a bunch of the points randomly distributed themselves to food and torpor. But anyway, not the best of the best dino tame ever, but it's okay. We're okay with it. Wait, oh wow, you're heavy. And yeah, I love that. When you get off, you actually stand up here because these guys are so big. Let's go ahead and grab this one instead. Manny, come on. There we go. I just wanted to show the folks why you guys are out here. Well, first of all, you get stuck on everything. So there we go. Okay. We got stuck on the horns of the other one, I think. We got a little bit of problem with the engineering of the base right now. I don't think it's going to work. I think we're going to have to we're going to have to upgrade some things here. Oh, I know. Let's go to orbit camera. Can I zoom like way out? Yeah, here we go. Yep, there's your problem. I think somebody measured the gate a little bit wrong, because that's not quite going to work. Yeah, so anyway, the mammoth can't get through the gate, which is okay, because actually that gives me a reason to bother to make the bigger gates and the bigger walls and stuff. I made the wood stuff, and I haven't really messed with it since then, and now I guess I have a reason to. But let's just take this guy out. He's actually, or who am I on? Yeah, I'm on Manny. Again, he's actually better at taking down wood. Let me see, where's a decent forest? Over there. Alright, let me go take him over there, and then I'll record and show you guys the usefulness of the mammoth. That's it. Well, he's full too, so let me empty him, and then I'll go do that and all that. Be right back. Alrighty, folks. Lost the light there, so I waited till the morning, but dawn has come, and it's time to try out the mammoth. Why are you not making any noise? You gotta make some noise when they do this, when they stomp and whatever. But anyway, as you can see, it gathers a ton of berries. Probably not as many as the stego, because I think it does a bigger sweep for the tail sweep. But this guy also knocks down wood and gets tons of wood, and I think a decent amount of thatch. It also has stamina that lasts for days. It just goes and goes and goes. So I ran all the way over here from base, and the stamina didn't falter barely at all. So yeah, it's pretty good stuff. Alright, a little more. We're almost full already. I'd gotten rid of most everything on both of the mammoths actually, and I think we're back to being pretty much full. Oh yeah, so dillos will attack mammoths. It's really silly because you can't even see the dillo, let alone the dillo doing any damage at all to you. But it's something to be aware of because it just kind of gets in the way and whatever. So I don't know. This is pretty good. If nothing else, you could bring this guy along for the weight capacity. There we go. So we're out of weight, and I'll show you why in a second. One thing you could do is bring this guy along for weight capacity and actually just run around and chop down with your metal axe. Oh, I did run him out of stamina. Looks like pretty close. Okay, so the weight is partially due to the wood, because wood is super heavy in this game. But it's also due to the massive amount of berries that we've got. So what I'm doing is just basically keeping one stack of each berry, and then everything else can just go. And O is your friend here. If you float over and hit O, it just drops that right on the ground, and you can just get rid of all this garbage pretty quickly. Throw all the bad stuff away. We don't need seeds. We don't need stem berries. I'll keep the narcos because I can make more narcotics, and again, crafting gives you good XP. So keep a stack of each. Keep the medjos because those are good for, well, pretty much everything, for taming and stuff. And there we go. So with that little bit, I got 330 wood, a couple stacks of narco berries, another stack of medjo berries, and all that other junk I just threw on the ground. And now I'm back to 320 out of 514 weight, so time to hit it again. Alright, that's it for the mammoth for the moment. I think what I might do is take a look and see what it takes to make the big, huge metal dino gates, and maybe I'll work on that this episode, but I'm going to see what exactly that's going to take. Or maybe I'll work on farming some metal. Well, we'll see. I'll be back with you guys in a few minutes.
And the sun sets on another day. Here we are down on the beach hanging out with the raptor pack and working on taming a new anklo. This is actually the second anklo tame I'm working on. I didn't even plan on doing this one, but hey, a level 27 anklo popped up in front of my face, and I said, well, I guess I'd better work on it. So yeah, this takes a while. I do have the taming speed cranked up. I think I mentioned that. Since I'm a single player, I don't have a tribe to help me out while I go do other things and people keep an eye on this and all that. So anyway, I've turned it up, but it's still, I've probably been here a good hour-ish already. These higher level ones take quite some time to tame. But anyway, we're doing good. It's 27. He's got a plus 11 level so far. We'll see how that turns out at the end. But everything's good, and we're just kind of hanging out here. I thought, let's see where we're at here. I thought I'd just cozy up to the campfire here in a minute. Let me find some more meat to put in it. Those guys are running a little, well, not low, but running lower than the other folks are at this point. So I thought I'd just kind of excuse me, I can't move. There we go. Hang out at the campfire and tell you guys a little story. How about that? because boy, there's a story to go with this. All right, I'm doing pretty good. We're down to about 4 stacks or so on each dino of the raw meat, and again, I just been spending some time here cooking up some meat while I'm waiting for that ankle to tame up. I've kind of gotten interested, used to enjoy whatever double tames, where you knock down a couple dinos near each other and get them both taming. It just gives you a little more something to do, and doesn't really require any more effort other than you got to have twice as many narcos and whatever. But anyway, let's hang out by the fire. Let's see, what's the temperature? 53 degrees. Nice evening. We're just gonna hang out here, tell you a little bit of story. So so I took Dozer out because, well, okay. So last thing I recorded, I talked about metal dino gates, and I said, well, I got to work. Oh wow, that kind of messes up my recording, doesn't it? All right, I guess we won't stare at the fire. I think the smoke makes it drop some frames or something. Anyway, so I was talking about making some metal dino gates, and I said, oh well, I got to go find a bunch of metal. And one of the places you can go to get metal is in some of the smaller streams and rivers. These these smoother rocks. These right here, they're not metal rocks, but they have more metal in them than just regular old stones. So I took Dozer down to the river and started smashing some rocks, and then a glitch happened, and I was trying to figure out if it was not a glitch and everything, and I talked to my buddy Sim, and he actually about an hour after that or so was out, and the same thing basically happened to him twice, in fact, and he lost his ankle too. So there's some kind of bug. Basically, I was on Dozer smashing rocks, and I got done, and I went to just walk up on the bank. So basically, like if I was right down here, I was smashing some rocks, and I went and I pushed forward to go up on the bank, and Dozer went backwards. And I was like, what? So I hit backwards, and I tried to turn, and basically Dozer wouldn't move at all. So I was thinking, okay, well, kind of freaked out. Anyway, it was stuck, and I mean, there was no scorpions nearby, so there was no torpor message. It wasn't completely out of stamina, and I kept smashing things, and I don't know. Basically, it got completely stuck, and I thought, well, maybe it just ran out of stamina and fell asleep underwater or whatever. But again, Sim had the exact same thing twice, and yeah, we think it's just some glitch. So careful with that. All right, so needed a new anklo, and I decided to go up on the mountain because there's usually higher level stuff up there. So those kind of big swirly round things, if we haven't figured this out yet, are mountains. So I went up to the one just kind of northwest of the base and was cruising around there for a while, and I found 2 anklos. One was 20, I think 27. One was like 27. One was 18. They were a mate boosted pair. They were just far enough apart from each other that they didn't have the mate boost, so I could get them both knocked down pretty easily. And I had them both down, and I worked on taming them, and ran into a bit of a problem because it was on the mountainside, and the mountains are cold, and I knew that. So I brought my chitin armor, which is not quite as warm as leather, which I have on now. You'll see, but has a lot more protection. I brought a torch. I brought a campfire. And I brought my Freya curry, 2 of them, and it was down to, I think, 14 degrees or something, and with a torch, a campfire, the Freya curry, and my chitin armor, I was still freezing. So I figured, okay, I'm going to just have to go down the mountain and hang out down in the forest for a little bit, let the temperature come up, and then I will go back to, go back up there. So I go running down the mountain. I left 4 of my raptors up there on guard duty, basically. So if anything got nearby, similar to this, they're just hanging out in case anybody comes by. They're gonna keep them away from the tame is the idea. And I took one of them down the mountain and ran into a carno, and then a saber-tooth, and then 2 more saber-tooths. And I ran past, and I thought I had gotten away from them. I was out kind of on the edge of a cliff, sort of like that. Came down out of the, it was hanging out in the forest. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, man, that carno came running out, and I was like, okay, I can kill a carno. And then at least 2, and I think there was a third. It was hard to see. At least 2, and I think 3 saber-tooths just came out and just tore me up. And my death message was, "You've been killed by a level 36 saber-tooth." And I went, oh dear, I so want to tame that guy. Anyway, long story short, I went back. The raptor I was on did not die. I'm not sure why. It was at like 10% health, just standing there when I got back. And the carno and the saber-tooth and everything was gone. and I don't know where it all went, but I looked around for 10-15 minutes for my corpse and my bag, and I never found it. So everything that was on me was gone. And I said, okay, fine, whatever. Let me get back to the tame, because I checked on them. They were still, nice and unconscious, whatever. And I went back up there, and I could have sworn I put some narcotics on one of the raptors, but it turned out I didn't. So I didn't have any narcotics when I got up there. And I had to fly back to the base. I had my pterodon out. I wish I could have this on. Yeah, high recording. We're losing frames. No. Oh, so bad. Anyway, we're having our little campfire story, and I can't put the campfire on the screen because it makes my encoding go wonky. Anyway, yeah, so I got up there and I fed them what narco berries I had gotten out of off of the raptors and stuff, and flew back to the base, grabbed some more narcotics, flew back, and right as I pulled over top of the level, forget which one. As I pulled over top of the bottom ones, which I think was the higher level one, he got up and walked away. So that sucked, but I did get the narcos up to the other one, so I've got a female back at the house, and I'll show you guys that once this tame is done. And now, since this guy's right here, and by the way, if I can just look there, so we're not far from base. We're pretty close to home. This one's gonna be a lot easier to get home. These guys are not super fast. So on the way back, I had the pterodon, which is the fastest thing out there, the raptors, which are pretty darn fast, and one of these trailing behind and just like taken forever. But it was quite an interesting trip back to the house. Took quite a while, but anyway, we'll have a nice mate boosted pair of anklos here. We'll just check the pre-tame stats. We've got 1200 health, 227 stamina, 4200 food, which I think is not so great. I think it's actually got a bunch of points in food, but I don't know for sure. 280 weight, I think that's base, a little bit in the melee damage, and that's about it. So we'll see what the post tame stats are. It looks like you're going to need at least another round of narcos. Whoops. Let's just give you 2 or 3 right now and see how that works out. So we should be getting pretty close here. I'm going to finish this up and probably head back to the house and introduce you to the new anklos at that point. So we'll be back in a little bit. Alright guys, made it back home. Got my 2 anklos now, mate boosted and all that. Everything's good. Just thought I'd give you guys a quick update on things and introduce you to the new anklos here before I sign out for this episode. You've seen all these. I actually ran out of space in this one because it was completely full of hide, and then they updated it so now hide stacks to 200 instead of 100. So that's great. That's fine. This is now the hide box, and the stone and other stuff has been moved over here, and the charcoal's over here now because the wood and thatch one is now full thanks to the mammoths. I got wood coming out my ears. Alright, so at the risk of high encoding again on my recording here, yeah, it looks like a little glitchy. I did get some metal while I was out, not enough, but I got 180 plus 17 and 50 already done, and it's two ores to 1 ingot, I believe. Yeah, that was 180. It just went down to 182, or was 182, just went down to 180. And notice the weight on that, 180 weight. So yeah, I mean, we knew that, but metal is quite heavy. So I'm going to work on getting some metal dino gates and all that going, so I can get the mammoths in here. Honestly, those guys are so big, I'm not sure they're really going to fit in here well. But I guess I can take them around back over here at least and have them inside the gates. That's probably a good idea. Oh, and yes, Terry the terrific pterodon has been upgraded now with the specs, the dino specs. So there we go. I like him on the pterodon because they got such a long beak that he has like the longest glasses in the entire world. All right. Anyway, let me introduce you guys to Time, our level 33 female, who is pretty cool. She's got pretty good melee damage, okay weight capacity, and again the melee damage affects how much they get out of each stone, although you can just hit more stones, so I think maybe I'll focus a little more on weight capacity real soon here. And decent health, 1200 health, so not too bad. And over here, yeah, thanks much. Actually that's good, because I do need more fertilizer here pretty soon. Over here is the one we were just taming. Get the gooeys all off of each other. And we've got Hamma, level 38 male. Oh, and you're ready to level up. 39. What do you got?
So he's got 1680 health. He's got tons of health. And 300 melee damage is pretty good. 290 weight. I saw his torpor went up from like 1,000 to 2,000, so that's a waste of a bunch of points. But overall, pretty darn good. I mean, not a lot of movement speed, but whatever. I'm not going to get a lot of movement speed on these. So let's add a little bit of weight. I might add some more melee damage here too, but let's just see how much weight we get out of this. Is it 10? Okay, so I think I'm going to focus more on the melee damage on these guys, and we'll just bring other dinosaurs to go with it. So there you go, hammer time. That's right, you heard it here first. Okay, I think that's it for today. The group is all back together. Everything's cool. You know, I found a saddle for this guy, and it's gone. I don't know what I did with it. It just, I must have dropped it on the ground or something. I can't find a stupid saddle anywhere. So that's about it. I'm going to get all this metal cooked up, and I'll probably have to go for a couple more metal runs. Take the anklos out, and maybe take the mammoths or something with them, so I can really hammer on stuff. Oh, last thing, yeah, all the smoky stuff coming out of here. This is a preserving bin. I have never found a bin or a schematic for it, so I finally went and learned the engram wasn't that expensive. And you have to fuel this guy with spark powder. It says right here. So if you fuel it with spark powder, it will preserve your food. So let's find one that's got a big number. 2.5 hours, I guess. Oh, here we go. 3 hours. Yeah, so depends on what their countdown is right now, but yeah, 3 hours or more, whatever, for the cooked meats. And no, it's much longer than that. There's an hour at least for the raw meat. So it's pretty good. It still spoils, but not nearly as fast. This is all the capacity it has, though. So there isn't a ton of capacity. The other part is, if we get oil, we can add the spark powder we already have, add some oil and the cooked meat, and these will turn into jerky. And the jerky, I think, is just as good, or maybe a little bit better, and then also has, or also spoils much slower. So there you go. Oh, hey, I just noticed I didn't put the saddle on Hammer. We've got, I've actually got 2 more. Well, no, this one more after this. One more anklo saddle after this. So here we go. We'll just do a little derpy anklo run because it's silly. Alright, and last thing I was going to say is, I told you that whole story by the campfire, and you know, I kind of wish I had recorded all that action going on, but I wasn't really in a real decent position to record at the time, and honestly at the time I was kind of freaking out with all the problems and the saber-tooths roaming around and freezing, and it probably actually would have made a pretty good recording, because I was kind of freaked out and kind of going for broke trying to keep everything alive and keep the 2 tames going. And yeah, once I died out of the blue, I was just like, oh man, I was kind of ticked off. But hey, that's all right. You know what? I lost the stuff that was on me, but it was nothing I couldn't replace pretty easily. So that's it for now. Next episode, metal gates, and we'll see what after that. See you guys in the next one.